right, what's up guys? My name is Zach and today I am driving a 1995 Buick Roadmaster Sedan. Up front is a 5.7 liter V8 and down below is a 4-speed automatic transmission. Now I am super excited to be driving this here 1995 Buick Roadmaster for a couple of reasons. First of all, this is the first time in a long time that I've driven a Buick Roadmaster, so I am so excited to be doing that today. But the other reason is the fact that you just don't really see cars like this anymore. It's a big floaty V8 car, and so I'm excited to share that with you guys today. But before we get on to anything else, I have a website, zackpradel.com, where you can buy stickers and other merchandise when it becomes available. You could also submit your own vehicle to be reviewed by me through a quick and easy submission form, and you get a video of your car just like this one. And you could read my behind the scenes blog to see what I'm filming before it comes out on the channel. But let's get back to that 5.7 liter V8 under the hood. Well, it makes about 260 horsepower and is known as the LT1. Now that's a pretty good amount of power, and it's a pretty famous engine. It was also put in the Impala at the time and most other B-body platforms. This is a B-body. Like I said, paired to it, 4-speed automatic transmission, 4L60E that we've come to know and love here on the channel, and it's doing fine. It is shifting. However, this particular transmission has been rebuilt before. So in the 134,000 miles, it has done a transmission rebuild. Last but not least, this Roadmaster and all Roadmasters are and were rear-wheel drive. So with that out of the way, let's talk about the interior. Well, in front of me, I have some very plain gauges. Off to the far left is the odometer, kind of an interesting location. Then I have my coolant temperature, speedometer in the center, fuel off to the right, and then some warning lights off to the far right. The steering wheel is nice and pillowy. It's a giant airbag steering wheel from Buick of the 90s, and I absolutely love that. Off to the left, I do have my headlight switches, a vent, as well as my hood and trunk release. And then on the door, I have my Concert Sound 2, which I find really, really hilarious. Lock and unlock, latch to get in and out. And then I have my power mirrors, my power seat options, and power windows found all on the lower door. Moving into the center, I do get my very nice climate controls. Fan speed and auto, however, I don't get dual zone, but this is the 90s, so pretty typical there. Then I have an aftermarket radio because most radios from the 1990s were pretty terrible, and so you gotta fit it with something a little bit newer. And then I do have an ashtray and some pull-out cubbies and such, which is very, very nice and typical of Roadmasters and B-bodies from this era. Then I don't actually get any like floor-mounted center console because this is a bench seat, so it gives your legs a lot of room on the interior. I really, really love that. Then we do have a folding center console with the seats, which do have cup holders, so we will do a big friggin' bottle test here in the 1995 Buick Roadmaster Sedan, and unfortunately, the bottle is just slightly too big to fit in the cup holder, so unfortunately, I have to fail the Buick Roadmaster. However, we do have to talk about the seats themselves. They are so cushiony, so comfortable. I miss this era so much because they are just plush couches that happen to be bolted into the frame of this car. I really, really love that. That with the suspension of the vehicle really makes it ride and float like vehicles used to, and they don't anymore. However, speaking of seats, we do have back seats, so let's go do a back seat review. All right, so we're in the back of the 1995 Buick Roadmaster Sedan, and this, ladies and gentlemen, is where you want to be. These seats are so plush and so comfortable. I might as well be sitting on a cloud or cotton candy or whatever other analogy you want to draw here. It is so comfortable back here. I get this nice, giant, chunky foam brick for the center console. I have this big shelf behind me. I don't have any giant headrests obstructing my view, so I could see the front seat. I could see everything out in front of me and around me, and I love it. I really, really do. This back area is fantastic, and I could just imagine being on a road trip or experiencing the country, mastering the roads from back here as a kid. I'm sure a lot of people watching this video have that memory, and I'm very jealous of you that you got to see maybe a national park through here, maybe a new city, a new state, maybe even a new country, going up to Canada, Mexico, whatever it may be. All of those memories and nostalgia feelings just kind of crash into me like waves sitting back here. And I love it when a vehicle is able to do that for me. But now let's go take a quick look at the trunk. All right, so we're on the back of the Buick Roadmaster Sedan. Now I do have a trunk release here on the key fob, which that is so cool. Now, you get so much space back here. I think you could put this on hotels.com and actually rent it out and get people to stay back here. It is so roomy. It's more luxurious, honestly, than most hotel rooms I've stayed in, being honest here. But I love this about American cars from this era. Something I did want to note, however, is that although it did have the trunk release on here, it actually does have a separate key for the trunk. So that key is for the ignition, that key is for the trunk. This was very typical of GM in this era, which I think is a fun little quirk of these cars. Now we got to talk about looks, and I love the look of this Roadmaster, not only because I rarely see the sedans. I feel like I see the wagons a lot more often, but I love this light blue color. You rarely ever see them in this color, and I absolutely love that. Big fan. However, let's get on to my final thoughts. What do I think finally driving a Buick Roadmaster sedan from 1995? Well, I honestly love it. I love this era of vehicle. I like the big, lazy, dumb V8 up front. Now, when you want it to go, it'll go, but around town, it just kind of whoa, 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 whoa. And I like that a lot. But for me, this really marks the end of an era for American automobiles. This Buick Roadmaster was made from 1992 until 1996, the year after this car. And the Roadmaster had been around since actually the 1930s. The Roadmaster name had been associated and used by Buick. It actually makes me genuinely sad to drive this car because I know that there's nothing like it anymore.
It made me so sad that I drove from St. Louis, where this Roadmaster was filmed, all the way down to Arlington, Texas. Exactly 26 years before the release of this video, on December 13th, 1996, the final Buick Roadmaster rolled off the assembly line at the Arlington, Texas factory. A name that had been used since the 1930s was now dormant. The Roadmaster was killed in favor of GM pursuing SUVs, of which now the Tahoe, Yukon, and Escalade have filled the assembly lines once held by the Roadmaster. Rows and rows and rows of uninteresting, harsh-riding, oversized vehicles. So let's take a moment to remember a monumental car. A car that rolled with the punches of life with grace and class. A car that carried itself and its occupants with dignity. A car that mastered all roads.
I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Huge thank you to Chris for letting me take out his Buick Roadmaster from 1995. I was so glad we were able to make this work. Chris has been absolutely awesome to work with, and huge shout out to him. But I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Don't forget to rate the video, comment on the video, and subscribe if you really liked it. Take care, guys.